How's it going, you guys? It is Will here, and we have yet another Godzilla 2000 up for review. Today we're looking at one of Bandai's newest movie monster series figures. This is Godzilla 2000 Millennium version 2.0. So yeah, this figure came out earlier this year, I believe back in February. And honestly, I really do like the changes to the Godzilla 2000. I really do like the new sculpt. And the cool thing is that this figure sculpt was actually supervised by Shinichi Wakasa himself, who, for those who don't know, is the actual creator of the Godzilla 2000 design. So that is pretty awesome, the fact that he had a hand in the supervision of the sculpt of this figure. That's pretty awesome. Look at the tag. I do have the tag because I did get this figure locally at a comic book shop here in Arizona, so that's pretty awesome. Paid $39.99 for it, and inside of the tag, Godzilla 2000 silhouette. Back of the tag, I really do like what the new Movie Monster series has done, putting the back of whatever monster it is on the back of the tag. And I really do like the front with the pictures, just having the picture and the kaiju name. Really just reminds me of the old school, like early 2000s Movie Monster series. Very nice. Love what they've been doing with this line. So here is the new Godzilla 2000 version 2.0. And first I'm going to say, you guys, this figure is it's very tiny, okay? Let's compare him with a common standard 6-inch figure. Here is Godzilla 68. As you can see, yeah, this figure is actually pretty tiny. Definitely one of the smallest Movie Monster series figures, along with like Destroya and their old Hedorah. Yeah, that's a little upsetting. That's probably like my biggest gripe I have with the new mold here. But everything else on it is very nice. Like, I love the detail, I love the paint job, but that size, it irritates me. But having said that though, the best part about this figure is definitely the more defined detail in the skin. This figure has a very, very nice amount of skin bumps and detail, and it's very sharp and defined looking too, which is very impressive. I feel like with a lot of Bandai's newer Movie Monster series Godzillas, like, yes, they have skin detail, but they're not as defined as it was back in like the early 2000s. Hold on, let me get an example. Like, for example, right here I have the 6-inch retool of Godzilla 2004, the one that came out in 2023. And as you can see, he does have skin detail in there, but it's not as sharp or as defined as the older versions of this Godzilla out there that Bandai put out. So it's a little bit upsetting, but this guy definitely does not have that issue. His skin detail is very nice and sharp, which I really appreciate. Now for articulation, unfortunately, this figure's kind of lacking articulation. It just has articulation in the arms and some in the legs, and that is about it. Glue seal at the tail, but I'm not going to try messing with glue seals because that is dangerous. You could potentially rip the figure, so we're not going to worry about that. Now, I'm really loving the paint job of this figure as well. He is mostly like a nice, darkish, greenish kind of gray color, and he does have like these beige highlights on his chest and on the legs, which really help make it pop. I think this might be my favorite paint job out of all the Bandai 6-inch Godzilla 2000s out there. And as you can tell, he does have more purplish spines, so this Godzilla 2000 is more so based off of the design from the 1999 film Godzilla 2000 Millennium, rather than the Godzilla vs. Megaguirus paint job, which is a little bit of a shame, but they did come out with another version of this, which has orange translucent spines, which I believe is supposed to be a homage to this Godzilla 2000. So that's actually pretty awesome. It's nice that we do have some kind of homage to the Godzilla vs. Megaguirus color scheme, because there's not many figures out there with that color scheme. Alright, now there's a reason why we're up close and personal with this Godzilla now, and that is because my only other flaw, aside from the size that this figure has, is actually in the face. This Godzilla, I feel like the eyes are just a little bit too small to represent Godzilla 2000 properly. I wish the eyes were bigger, had those big pupils that give him that nice anime-esque kind of look, which is what I love about Godzilla 2000. I love the more big eyes, the big anime eyes, which this figure, I'm afraid, didn't really capture all that well, which is a shame because the head sculpt is very nice, but the eyes I just wish were a tad bigger. That is one thing I think that the older mold, let's bring in the Toho Kaiju series here. That is one thing I think that the older mold captured better. Was just getting those nice big pupils in there to give them that anime-esque kind of look. Now, while we have the Toho Kaiju series figure here, this is how they scale up in terms of size. Now, the Toho Kaiju series Godzilla 2000 is a bigger figure overall. You know, it's a big figure even with your basic 6-inch figure. So this is definitely kind of unfair. But like, I definitely do prefer the paint job of 2.0 over here. Whereas I do like the Toho Kaiju series. I like the paint job on the spines, but the skin is definitely lacking. It doesn't really have any highlights. It's just one solid dark green color. But this sculpt on the spines, I definitely think is better on the older mold. I do like the new mold, yes, but I just wish the spines were a little bit bigger. But then again, I wish this whole figure was a little bit bigger. But I do think that the sculpt on these spines is a little bit more suit accurate with the old mold as opposed to 2.0. And up next, we have the 2016 Movie Monster Series Godzilla 2000. I guess we can call this version 1.0. Now, this uses the Memoribox figure mold, so as you can see, the size difference isn't as drastic as with the Toho Kaiju Series one, but 2.0 is definitely still a little bit smaller. Again, I do prefer the sculpt of the spines better on this mold as opposed to 2.0. But paint job wise, I think 2.0 definitely has it hands down. Like out of all the 2000 Godzillas that have come out, I just don't like this one's paint job as much. Like, I feel like the skin is way too dark. It's like almost black, and then it just has a random green highlight in the chest there. Alright, one more 6-inch Godzilla 2000 before we get into the big boys. This here is the 50th anniversary Memoribox Godzilla 2000. Now, it's the same size as the 2016 one because they're the same mold, but paint job wise, the Memoribox Godzilla 2000 is more so based off of the suit in Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. As you can see, he has more pinkish spines, a lighter shade of green with even lighter green highlights. This, I think, is my favorite out of the paint jobs for this mold. And I really wish we could have got this mold with the Megaguirus suit coloration, because it would have looked very nice, you know, but I don't mind having another 1999 Godzilla paint job. It is very nice, but there aren't many figures out there with the Megaguirus coloration with the pinkish spines and the lighter shade of green. I wish we had more. I wish they would have done it with this one, but it's too late now. Now, I've heard some people claiming that this Godzilla has X+ level detail. Well, you know what? Let's put that statement to the test, shall we? Alright, so right here we have X+'s 30cm Godzilla 1999, which I showed off in my previous video. Now, I won't say they're on the same level, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Like, skin detail-wise, it's very impressive with this little guy, especially for his size. The detail on it is definitely very impressive for the size, but I don't think it's on the same level as this, but it is definitely getting there. Okay, ooh, what figure is this? Now guys, this is a special treat right here, because right here we got the X+ Super Toho 30cm Godzilla 1999. Now this one is super awesome. It was made by doing a 3D scan of the actual Godzilla 2000 suit. So literally, it cannot get any more accurate than this for Godzilla 2000. And when we compare it to Bandai's 2.0, honestly, the detail on this little guy is very impressive. Like, it's definitely a step in the right direction. I mean, we compare it to the 3D scan figure. It's actually very nicely done. Yeah, this is a comparison I really wanted to do, as literally you can't get any more accurate than this. This is literally like a mini replica of the suit on my table right now. So overall, you guys, I would definitely recommend this figure. Godzilla 2.0 is a very nice figure. I know I complained about it being, I wanted it to be a little bit taller. I also complained about I wanted to have larger eyes. That's probably me just nitpicking because I love this Godzilla design so much. I mean, literally, I showed off like 7 different Godzilla 2000s in one video. But I definitely think people are going to be very happy with the new mold, especially when it comes to like the paint job and the really nice skin detail. The detail is definitely better than the old mold. Paint job on this one's definitely better than these two over here. I think it's on par with the Memoribox one, because this one was drastically different from these two. So that's why I like that one. But this new mold, I think, is definitely very nice paint job-wise and detail-wise. I do have those little nitpicks, yes, but that's probably just me. But it is a very nice figure. Definitely pick it up if you're a fan of the Godzilla 2000 design. You know, the fact that this figure's mold was actually supervised by Shinichi Wakasa, the creator of Godzilla 2000 himself, That alone just makes this figure pretty awesome. So definitely pick it up if you have the chance.